The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. How are you? Good to be with you. I am Ron Van Dam. They've announced that accordingly, I think at the beginning. I don't know. I wasn't here. But thank you so much for being here. I do this once a week. I come into this studio and I do this, what I've been doing on the radio for, now almost 35 years. Still doing it too, babes. Yeah, I know. So that's it. You can join me every weekday. I do a new show, but it's an audio thing, and that would be wonderful if you could join me on that. NewEnglandBroadcasting.com, RonVanDam.com, all kinds of things. You can find me on all the platforms. I won't name them all because we're on all of them. So thank you so much for being here. Let's get started. Okay, you talk. This isn't working out. I can't hear you. I'll talk for about 28 minutes, okay? Fine. You can read the paper, do something you do in the background. Do people still read the paper? Do you get the paper delivered anymore? What paper? The Boston Globe. Are they still in business? I don't even know. I think they are. I get the Boston Globe delivered, but only on Sunday, because that's about all I can take of those people. And they don't know how to deliver papers anymore because everything's supposed to be online. You see, if you're looking at me right now, you probably notice I'm a little older than 18. I'm like 25. I'm 26. So I'm 27. So I'm 30. So I used to do things, 35. I used to do things 40. I used to do things a little bit differently. Is he going to stop there? 40? Do I hear 44? Going once? Go 45. All right, 45. Do I hear 46? 46. 46. You on the talk show, 47. 47. Do I hear 48? Okay. Anyway, so here's my experience in life, and it was really wonderful, and people don't do this anymore. And get this, and kids, if you're a millennial or a Generation X. Again, I'm a Generation P. That's what I do at 3 o'clock in the morning. So you can call me that. Here's what I used to do, and you won't believe this. You won't believe this, but this is what I used to do. I used to walk into a store. Now, stores were these buildings, and on the sign it usually said the name of the store and maybe underneath like what they do in there. But you could probably tell from the outside. But they were called stores. I don't know if you're familiar with those. They were actually buildings, yeah, and people used to lease space in it or own the building, and they would they would sell their products out of a store. I know. How archaic can you be? Yeah, we didn't have online shopping. There was no line to shop on. We had to walk into a store, and here's what we did. We'd walk into the store, and a person, a live, breathing human being, would say, "Hi." Oh, my God. I was greeted by a human being when I walked in. "Hi, how are you?" And I would walk in, and it was fun. I would look at all the shelves, and no matter what I was looking for, there's something that I could probably, oh, look at that. And it was fun to shop. I would find what I wanted, and I would pick up the product in my hands right off the shelf. There were no locks or cabinets where I'd have to call, "Excuse me, I want to get printer ink for my, it's locked. Can you in the cap?" None of that. I just took the item and I walked up to the front of the store where they had a cash register. Yeah. There was no swiping, no tapping, So we would take the product, give it to the person behind the register, and they would say, "That'll be $12, please." This is the strange part. I would go into my pants. Wait a minute. Ladies would go into their pocketbooks and take out this wallet thing. It was a thing that stored cash. The cash came in like these green pieces of paper, came in dollar bills and $5 bills and $10 bills. Oh, you don't want to hear all that. And that's what we did. And we would give that money to the person at the register, and they would figure out, or the little register even would tell them how much change to give me. And I would get the change back. They'd put the item that I just purchased in a bag, give me a little receipt, and I would leave with the item and go home and use it immediately. It worked. We did that for a long time. It was so wonderful. I went to Staples this week because I ran out of printing ink for my printer. Can't have a printer if you can't print. You know, what's the point of a printer if you can't print it? So I ran out of black ink, which is the most used ink color, if it's indeed a color technically. So I go to Staples because I also ran out of staples, apparently. You know, the store should just be called Ink, because that's really why people go in that place. So I go in there, and I get the ink cartridge that I need, and I go up to the register, and the guy behind the register, nice guy, young guy, a little younger than I by a lot. He says to me, "Do you have our rewards card?" And I said, "I don't know what you just said to me." He said, "Do you have a rewards card?" I'm sorry. I said, I might. I don't. I can't remember everything. I just want to buy the ink. I yelled at him. I did, because that's the way I felt. "Look, why are you asking me questions? I just want to buy the ink. You tell me how much it is. I give you the money, and you give me the change, and I leave." How difficult is that for you? "Do you have a rewards card?" I don't. "What's your phone number? Are you going to call me?" I'm not into, first of all, I'm not into that. And secondly, I'm not into that. Why do you have to call me? No, sir. We're going to look up your account by using your phone number." I don't know if I have an account. I don't know. So I gave him my phone number. He called me, and we're going out to dinner tomorrow night. Seemed like a nice guy. What the hell? So, yeah. So I said, okay. So he looked me up, and he said, well, you know, if you get the rewards card, we can give you 20% off today's purchase. I said, oh, okay. So what now? He says, do you have your cell phone with you? I said, I do. I don't know what it does, but I have it. He says, well, you download the app, answer some questions, and then I said, oh, look, you know, why am I have to do secretarial work here? I just want to buy the ink and go home. I said, do you want to save 20%? Oh, fine. Now 10 minutes later, I don't. I got to have an app for everything. Requires an app now. I can't do anything without an app. And if you do it without an app, then it's going to cost you more than if you had the app, because then you can't get the rewards. What's my reward? There's no reward for this. The only reward I get is if I find a lost dog somewhere. Maybe I'll get like $50. That's about it, and I don't think I need a card for that. So anyway, so we go through all of this, and I was there like for 15 minutes, and all I wanted was some printing ink. Then I get home, and that was bad enough. Then I get home, and I insert the cartridge into my printer. Fine, that's wonderful. And then I'm thinking, you know, here's this little cartridge, and it's got probably no more than like an eighth a cup of ink in there or something. And it was $57. $57 for a little bit of ink. Where do you get this from? What, do you mine it next to the gold? Where do you get this ink from? What a ripoff. What a rip-off. Awful. And so that's, you know, it's a frustrating life that I have. And all because Things were so much simpler when I was younger. It took no effort. Things were wonderful. They were working out. Then technology came along and said, I'm going to make life easier for you. And my response was, it's not so difficult right now. Now it's hard. Now it's hard. On my show that I did this morning, my daily program, we had a guest who was talking about holiday scams and how people are out to scam you during the holidays. Well, isn't that nice? The holiday of peace and love is coming up, and that's when people want to scam you the most. They want to take your money and rape you of all civility during the holiday season. So we're talking about that, and he's saying, you got to look over your shoulder. People are trying to scam you all the time. You get emails from scammers. You get phone calls from scammers. You get mail from scammers. Regular mail in your mailbox thing. I think they still have that. All these possibilities, and it's not only people in this country scamming you. It's people all over the world trying to scam you right here. I mean, the most I used to be concerned about being taken was when I lived in New York City. If I walked into a crowd, I would have to keep my hand on my wallet so there were no pickpockets. That was my biggest security concern. Now it's like they're all out to get me. They want my identity. And by the way, if you knew who I was, you wouldn't want me. But they don't know that. I stole his identity. Who? This guy here. Ew, you stole his identity? Yeah, it's weird. And then we were talking about passwords. He said, change your passwords every once in a while. I said, what the hell? Why? I can't even remember the one that I did last time. He said, do a different password for everything. Don't do everything in one password, because if they steal the password, then they get into everything you have. So be on the lookout. Careful. Watch out. Not for him. No, don't talk to her. No, don't. Careful. This is no way to live. This is no way to live. It's awful. And technology has made it easier for people to rip you off, scam you, steal your identity, your money, your livelihood. I mean, they can even embarrass you online and affect you or your business simply because they don't like you, which is perfectly legal to do, unfortunately. I think technology has made things, too easy to the point where we don't have to even get up off of our couch anymore. I can't even talk. You don't even have to get up off your couch to have your life. You can sit on a couch, and that's it, and perform all the tasks that you could if you stood up. It's too easy. You should be putting effort into things. You should be moving your body in order to go places. Not just sitting in one place and having the world come to you. You should go to the world. It's bizarre. Some of the inventions of technology have been wonderful, but most of them have been taken advantage of by evil people who are simply out to get you, especially during the loving holidays. Then I talked to this guy on the show about lonely people. What about them? What's your problem? Lonely people are the biggest targets for scammers because they have no one to ask, is this real or not? And also, they tend to trust people because they're lonely. This is so now we're punishing lonely people. It was just, I felt like ending the interview and saying, look, this is absolutely disgusting. All of you brought this on yourselves. Now you're putting us all on the defensive. And that's what's happening. And as you probably know, if you listen to my radio show or even here, I am a opponent of AI. That's steak sauce. What's A1? I'm sorry. AI, artificial intelligence, which is difficult because human intelligence isn't that real. I mean, I'm questioning even that concept. So are computers smarter than people? Well, they would have to be, because people are stupid. So now we're giving computers the ability to make decisions for us, analyze for us, get us totally out of the mix. You want to go over there? You want to drive there? You don't have to drive. The car will drive itself. You just sit in the back and shut up. This is not right. This is not right. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. The only times I'm kind of disgusted. Now, if you see something on TV or listen to something on the radio, is that really the person doing it? Or did they take his voice and make this? He didn't even say that. She didn't even say that. This was artificially intelligized, whatever you call that thing. You see a video of some famous person saying something. No, he didn't say that. They put his words in his mouth and they made his mouth move. It's not good anymore. My favorite film when I was growing up was 2001: A Space Odyssey. It blew my mind. It was in the movie theaters back when I was a little bit younger, in a thing called Cinerama. Now, kids, you don't know what that is. You went to a movie theater and the screen actually wrapped all the way around, going halfway down the auditorium on both sides. So it was just all the way around you. And the speakers were set up accordingly. So it was a visual, incredible experience. What better motion picture to do this in than 2001: A Space Odyssey? You felt like you were in space. And I mean it. And I was, because I got high too. Anyway, that's not your business. But it was quite an experience. The thing that was most amazing about that, I've seen that like 1,000 times and now I'm sick of it. But the thing that was amazing about that film was that it was not computer generated. They used models that they had built, and they actually shot this in a studio. And to me, that was the most amazing part of this film, how that was done cinematically. Now, when I see a motion picture that has all these action car crashes, people flying through the air, spaceships going through space, it's not in a studio. It's done with a technical green screen or even more advanced than that. There's a movie now, I don't remember the name of it. Tom Hanks is in it. Horrible movie, don't see it. I think it's called We Live Here or We Lived Here, something like that. And Tom Hanks, as you know, is an older man now. But because of computer generation effects, they actually put him in the scene with his younger face from way back when he was 20 years old. Well, you know that makeup wasn't applied to his face to make his face look like he was 20 years old, exactly as he did when he was 20 years old. You know that wasn't makeup, it was computer generation. And my reaction to that is, I mean, it's amazing what you do with a computer, but you've taken the sting, you've taken the excitement out of it. I mean, you see like someone hanging from a helicopter and the Mission Impossible things. I mean, some of that is real stunt work, but most of it is not. Done in a studio. And he's not hanging on the helicopter. No, he's in a studio, and they got the thing, and they make it look like there's a background, but it looks real, but it's not. I don't know. It's disappointing, I guess is the best word. It's disappointing. So I am not an advocate for technology. And the reason why technology is around and advancing so quickly is that there's money to be made. So the company that does the fastest in innovations and advancements will be the ones that make the most money at first. So they don't care like what happens to it. They don't look down the road to the future as to all the possible abuses that could take place. Congress, they're not even old enough to even know what this stuff is. They're all like 60-year-old men who don't know what the hell's going on. There's no legislation anymore, and they're probably within the next few years will all be all toward business. It's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. When I was younger, my parents used to tell me that in this country they had a thing called a think tank. And all I knew about was a fish tank because I had one at that point and there were fish in it. And I had to clean it and I didn't like it. They said that the smartest people in this country gather together on a regular basis and they solve problems. They look into the future and to see how they can avoid catastrophes, and they're just the most brilliant, smartest minds in this country and basically on the planet. And it's a think tank of these incredible minds. And I said, oh, that's good. And I felt very, very secure with that information. Then I found out what my parents were referring to was Congress. And I thought, oh my God, no, that's not the think tank. That's the I don't think tank. And all of a sudden, that grounded, safe feeling was like, uh-oh, that's not good. This is not what I thought it was. That is not the deal. And there you have it. I don't know. There's I have a lot of things I can, you know what I want to talk about? Oh, we've got about like 8 minutes left. I want to talk about Thanksgiving because I don't know when this show airs, and it may air after Thanksgiving, in which case I'm sorry I'm wasting your time here. Thanksgiving is an interesting time of year. It's my favorite holiday. It is my favorite holiday because there are no real religious connotations. They don't say where you're gonna go to church today, right? No, there's no church on Thanksgiving, and if there is, it's unrelated. Thanksgiving is just a gathering of family and friends sometimes. They're not the same, those two things. And you gather and you get together, and it's with people that you haven't really seen all year for the reason that you really didn't want to see them all year. But for Thanksgiving, it's like, okay, all right, fine. It's that attitude. Oh, okay, all right, fine. You know, we always think that, you know, because we're related to somebody that we have to go out of our way. You're related by blood. I don't know if there was an oath taken and you slit your wrists or anything, but you're related by blood. But mentally, this person's nuts. So, I had an Aunt Sally who she wasn't demented or anything. She didn't have dementia. She was just, what's the term? Stupid. She was just stupid. She wasn't, and I don't say that in a derogatory sense. She was stupid. She went to school, graduated somehow, but she ended up being stupid. As she went through life, she did stupid things, and she was just stupid. And she had a very whiny voice. I don't know why. Whiny-voiced stupid people? Oh, it's like, wow. Whoa. How do you, wow. So she would come over. We'd only see her once a year. And it was wonderful in the sense that it was something to do. Is Aunt Sally coming this year? Yeah, she'll be coming. Well, at least it's fun to listen to her. She was just stupid. In the sense that if it's 2 + 2, it's got to be around 7. It has got to be the answer to that. It is just weird. Yeah, you know, just because they're blood doesn't mean that they are on your same page. And we like people that are on the same page in the book of life. What an incredible analogy I just made. I don't know why I'm facing here when you're over there. Because, I don't know, whatever. So I like Thanksgiving. I love to cook. I love that. So I like that thing and the traditions of Thanksgiving. There's one tradition that my family used to do and hasn't done it since I was a kid, basically because a lot of them have perished from the earth. But I think what you're supposed to do when you have a group of people around the Thanksgiving table, you're supposed to one by one, like you're in nursery school, tell everybody at the table one by one, it'll be your turn in a second, just hold on. One by one, what you're thankful for this year. Why? Because it's Thanksgiving. It's got the word thanks in it. We're giving thanks for the food and the company, whom I don't really care to see more than once a year. So tell us one by one as we go around the room what you're thankful for. And it was funny because in my family, the response was always the same. I don't know. Okay. And what are you thankful for? I don't know. Okay. Aunt Sally, what are you thankful for? All right, never mind. Ron, what are you thankful for? And I don't know. Not much, I guess. I don't know. Well, and then the head of the group, who is the moderator, usually the father, or grandfather, the matriarch, whatever, would say, well, I'll tell you what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for the food and the gathering of family and friends. And the rest of us just kind of laughed a bit. It wasn't a loud kind of laugh. It was a kind of a, yeah, right. It was where you, when you're laughing, it comes out of your nose and not your mouth, Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what we did. It's funny because people are stuffed after Thanksgiving. I mean, the bird is stuffed, granted, or you eat stuffing, whatever. But you are actually stuffed. I mean, you become the turkey. You are basically stuffed. And you cannot eat another thing. And everybody in the room at the dinner table on Thanksgiving always says, I couldn't eat another bite. I am stuffed. I couldn't eat another thing. I can't have another bite. I am stuffed. I will never eat again. Which is also what you say after you've been drinking a lot and the room is spinning and you're nauseous. I'm never drinking again. Next day, we're back. But this is very similar. I can't eat another thing. My God, this is wonderful. I cannot eat another thing. And then somebody 5 minutes later says, hey, we got pie. Oh, come on, bring out the pie. I thought you couldn't eat another thing. Well, that's not a thing. That's pie. So come on, let's go. And when you're finished with the pie, your guests are basically all sick. They all have some type of stomach disease. The men loosen their belts or their pants, whatever. Women, well, I guess the same thing now. Everybody looks pale and sick and disgusted and sleepy. And no. So that excitement for the Thanksgiving gathering now has turned into basically the sick ward at an overcrowded hospital. It's an interesting day. It's just an interesting day. And for me, it's interesting because I love to cook and I prepare the food and the turkey and all that. And when it's all over, you take the rest of the turkey breast and everything off of the turkey, and you're left with the turkey carcass. And it's a carcass. It is a dead carcass. And you put it in a bag and you bring it out to the garbage container in front of your home or apartment building or whatever. And it's just interesting that you end the day with a dead carcass and dispose of it. and that, my friends, is Thanksgiving. Anyway, I do wish you a happy Thanksgiving Day. If Thanksgiving has already passed because they've aired this late, then I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. If you're not watching this at all, then who cares? And that's the way it's going to go. So, until the next time, which is probably next week, I really don't know. Until then, I wish you peace.